So I wanted to come on today and talk to you all about a very important matter, and that is if racism still exists. Um, there has been a number of recent issues in the um, news and in the papers about teens and violence done and demonstrated by police officers in their native hometowns. So I just wanted to have us reflect on here where we think the country is going in terms of that and just kind of see where your heads are at. I know this can be a touchy subject, but I felt like it was kind of an important thing, not kind of, but is an important thing for us to talk about. I think too often we try to hide behind um, a hat or a mask and pretend it's not there, but it certainly does exist in a number of ways. Some people might feel like racism is not at all in existence. Everybody's equal, and you just have to fight and let us stop making excuses for why we're not getting ahead and things like that. But in looking at the news and recent events, certainly we can see that racism is a predominant issue, and it's still very much a real aspect of today. Yes, we have made some major strides from slavery days and our ancestors and things like that, but it's a lot more, I think, in today's society, a lot more obscure. Um, for instance, I think with a lot of the way the laws are set up, some of them can be a little bit off-putting in the terms of who's committing the crime. So if they think, say, the lawmakers are in favor of, like say they're predominantly white or whatever race, that is outside of a minority, they may create a law that's going to be more effective to inhibiting those minorities that they feel will create those injustices. Now, I think that that's just one way that society has gotten away with doing things in a sort of segregated nature. For instance, for instance, someone gets charged with possession of drugs. Now, normally you would think, drug use in general, it would have a similar kind of penalty. But say, for instance, someone who does, say, crack, they're normally, the demographics, they're seeing them as being African American or minority group. So they're going to put a higher sentence on that, where somebody that's doing cocaine will be normally deemed somebody that's going to be a little bit more up there. A lot of, like celebrities and people who have a lot of money and access, they're going to be doing heavier drugs like that, but the penalty will be much less and more refined. So that is something that we need to think about. But particularly what I want to get into talking about is the Michael Brown incident in Ferguson. Now, you've seen that, and this is not something that has just happened all of a sudden. Certainly, these things have been happening everywhere, but what has happened is this has become national news because it's caused such an outrage, and people are really starting to see these lines, of racism come into face value, and particularly with the Michael Brown incident. There's a lot of fuzzy gray areas, but why I'm speaking about it is because we just recently found out the verdict, right? So there was a large outbreak of resistance from the protesters and those who were, largely affected by the outcome of that. They were saddened, and the thing is, a lot of foreign papers and things, they actually commented that they felt that the lawmakers, it was kind of like the decision was a bit cynical in a sense, because it was expected. The decision was not one that we didn't know was going to already happen, but it was just the hope that maybe something different would come out of it. Now, I am in no way in support of the violence that has resulted from the Ferguson incident, but I am in support of the protest and things to bring attention to the issue that we have. So many times we're trying to reach out to these other countries and help them, but our country is a war zone. It's falling apart. We have a lot of things that we need to clean up, and we need to stop always reaching out to other countries trying to help them when we at home are broken, and we have people that are hungry here. We have people that are not seeing the light of justice and things like that. We have people who are wrongfully accused, and that's occurring everywhere. But at the same time, we need to think about what we can do at home before we try to branch out and help other people. You know what's funny is that if you ever watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, there was an episode where they went to the Austrian ball in Vienna, and Kim and Chris, they actually experienced some racism. And for Kim Kardashian, she had commented before that in the past she hadn't really understood or wasn't able to kind of identify with the racism that Kanye was always speaking of. And if you know him, he's always commenting something about it because it is a real issue. And I know a lot of times people say that, oh, you're always pulling the race card and blah, blah, blah. But, a lot of times, I think that, yes, it can be used in the wrong way, or in every incident is not an instance of racism. If you don't get an opportunity, it's not always because you weren't the right person or color for the job. It's sometimes you didn't meet what they were looking for, and that doesn't have to come in a color package. I think, this world is too diverse for us to be so set in this color pattern and what things should look like. We need to move beyond that. Certainly, back to the Kim incident, she was saying to her, to the papers and things and on the show that she felt like she was in somewhere out of 1914. Due to the racism that she had experienced. And on the plane, there was a lady that yelled out, that baby is black! And so she, finally was able to kind of identify and see where Kanye was coming from with the issues that racism is still real today, very much so. People are now talking about what these incidences of these younger children being killed, Trayvon Martin, 17, Tamir Rice, 12, Michael Brown, 18, will they begin killing babies at 12 months? Will they kill them before they're even born? I mean, what next? This is becoming all too common is what I'm trying to get at. We're definitely condoning these instances, and just kind of brushing them under the table. They're almost being forgotten. It's like these issues, these three people have made national news because it's been so just so much of a I don't even have the words for that, but it's just been so much of a shame and a very, very outraging kind of thing to happen to these families. And so they've definitely spoken out and tried to bring attention to these issues that they're facing. And so I think that here at home, we need to think about where we can transition from these issues of racism and where we can take our country. I think that the divide is only going to continue if we don't begin to address these fine lines in these gray areas. I think that we are way too advanced of a country to be set in, again, what color we are. So my final message is just basically for those people who are outraged by these instances of Trayvon and Tamir and Michael Brown, just to simply express those emotions in a positive light. And I want you to just think about eliciting those feelings of sadness in a positive way, so that way we can produce solutions of change. I know that it's going to be difficult for that family, and it's just going to be hard, and that they don't see the light in why their son was taken and things like that. And I certainly do want to mention that we do need to kind of think about where these young people are and what they're doing. And certainly their actions are not a cause for death. I definitely feel like officers who are trained as they are should be opting for different measures of apprehending suspects and things like that. Because I don't think shooting of a person is something that you ever can really ever forgive yourself for or forget or even say it's justified. I think that you should opt for another way to try to protect and defend yourself in this country. Today we have, other alternatives. He could have used pepper spray. He could have used his tactical training. There are a number of ways that this situation could have been avoided. And I certainly think that we need to continue to educate our youth on nonviolent attitudes and acts in society, and just continuing to shadow positive light. And I think we need to remove our black hats to the matter and just kind of surface a new and positive white light into the world. So I hope you guys found this message and this kind of talk insightful and inspirational, and that you will lead the change in your community and just reach out and try and elicit great positive things to society. Again, I thank you for watching my channel, and I hope that you will stay tuned for future videos of this nature and others. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.